Trigger warning, mentions of suicide, descriptions of violence. Child's Play 2019 is an anti-capitalist opus and I am here for it. In case you didn't know, Child's Play is a franchise of movies about a doll named Chucky who, until very recently, was possessed by the soul of a serial killer named Charles Lee Ray. He tortured, murdered, and snarked his way through 7 movies, acquiring himself a bride, a seed, a curse, and a cult along the way. It started out in 1988 as a decent movie and got through 2 whole sequels before it did that thing where, slasher franchises become parodies of themselves. It proceeded to ping-pong between campy horror and full-on scarefest in the next 5 releases. That's 7 movies over 30 years, and that's, pretty tame for a slasher franchise, especially one with a mascot in the same leagues as, say, Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers. No, not that one. The consensus is that the series went to shit around Child's Play 3 or Bride of Chucky, and apparently the last 2 straight-to-DVD ones were reviewed quite favourably, but straight-to-DVD movies can be unreliable since the only people that see them are the ones that care about the franchise to know the damn things were released in the first place, so they review it, but I digress. As with all franchises, a reboot was inevitable, and 2019 saw Chucky getting that treatment, but they opted to go in a decidedly different direction with it. After all, haunted dolls and voodoo rituals are so 1990, am I right? The new direction for Chucky takes a far more modern twist on the formula and possibly an unintentional jab at companies like Amazon and Apple, mass consumerism, and capitalism as a whole. These themes can be seen right from the first scene. We start on the advert for the new Buddy doll, a smart doll produced by the Kazlan Corporation, which is the result of putting Amazon, Google and Apple in a blender and making Tim Matheson huff the resulting dust. The commercial's initially eerily sterile background is obviously aping Apple's similar minimalist style, but said minimalism is quickly broken when, "Oh god, what is that thing? I hate seeing it move!" walks on screen. But don't worry, it's supposed to be weird. The characters think it's weird too. Doesn't change the fact that it's bloody fucking weird though. Anyway, the Kazlan Corporation sells a number of smart appliances including TVs, speakers, thermostats and even drones. And this new Buddy doll can interact with all types of technology, provided they're made by the Kazlan Corporation. The perfect house and perfect family of this advert is juxtaposed with the next scene, which is a Vietnamese factory in which employees are being worked to the bone to get enough of the doll out on time. The factory is dull, dirty, and the only real light source is the monitor of the worker who shortly fired for not getting enough of the dolls out for their launch. His response to getting fired is reprogramming one of the dolls, removing some of the inhibiting features of its smart AI, allowing it violence and removing any language barriers. It's a little bit techno-about, but it doesn't really make sense, but just go with it. The implications of this scene are that this man is clearly very intelligent, more so than his job requires, but due to where he was born and the opportunities that he was afforded, he was forced into a job that made him miserable and stopped him from using his abilities. Smarter creators than me have spoken all about how capitalism, particularly in its late stages as we are now, stifles creativity and innovation by forcing the less privileged into menial jobs so they don't starve to death. The worker in question ultimately dies by suicide at the end of the scene, which echoes perfectly the situation in places like Foxconn, a company that has installed nets around their factories as losing their job is a death sentence, and employees are frequently found trying to do the same thing. Throughout the movie, Chucky makes use of all manner of Kazlan Corporation products and appliances to achieve his goal of being Andy's best friend, by murdering not only those the doll sees as competition, but also those who he perceives Andy as disliking to get in the child's good books. He uses the Kazlan self-driving car to get an old woman in a crash. He uses the Kazlan hub to turn up the heating as a man dangles from a water pipe above an active saw blade. He even uses the Kazlan version of Alexa to turn lights on and off to scare his victims. This culminates in the climax of the movie in which Chucky takes over a shop in which the Buddy 2 is being launched, where he takes over televisions, lights, speakers, and even Andy's hearing aid. The final set piece draws a direct line between Chucky's evil and tech monopolies, in that he physically couldn't have done what he did if we'd all just listened to Elizabeth Warren and break up those tech monopolies. But this is just a movie, right? It's not like those monopolies are doing evil in real life, right? Right? But even the final scenes of the movie can be read as anti-corporation. The head of the Kazlan Corporation makes a mealy-mouthed apology and recalls the Buddy 2 dolls, despite the outbreak being caused by a Buddy 1 doll. The company does a recall of the dolls, but in the final scene that, of course, sets up the sequel, we see one of the Buddy dolls' eyes glow red in a warehouse full of them. They're not fixing the dolls or destroying the dolls. They're just keeping them in a warehouse until the public forgets about it. And we've seen this happen with tons of public outcries before. from YouTube personalities crawling back out of the dirt to bigger corporations. Remember when everyone said they'd never buy a Samsung again after the exploding Galaxy Note 7s? Well, look at them now. They're still one of the biggest phone manufacturers on the planet, and all they had to do was wait a few months and dangle a new gimmick in front of everyone's face, and here we are. But the analysis of this film's moral and political angle runs deeper than simple allegories in film scenes, and even runs deeper than this movie, as Child's Play as a series has always embraced an anti-capitalist bent. Child's Play 3, for example, has that classic line, "What are children but consumer trainees?" A line that references actual advertising agencies on Madison Avenue. They referred to children as trainee consumers. And series creator Don Mancini allegedly got the idea for the franchise when he was thinking about how wild children went for Cabbage Patch Kids. Marketing campaigns set people flocking to stores long before doors opened, started fistfights during Christmas and Black Friday. And we still see that today. How many times have you seen "World's Craziest Black Friday Fights" recommended to you by the YouTube algorithm? Mass consumerism has only gotten worse, particularly with the big tech companies monopolizing and getting smarter with their manipulative, targeted advertising. Those are 3 words that are hard to say. They know they're amplifying consumerism, convincing us that we need more and more things, specifically children. Back in the 1990s, the halcyon days of Child's Play, there was Pester Power, practice of bombarding children with advertisements and marketing to make them unrelentingly request the items. The worst thing about this was, it wasn't just a practice of advertising toys, fast food, snacks, and heck, even products for the parents. How many British millennials can still remember "washing machines live longer with Calgon" from their childhood? You get it stuck in the kid's head and the kid acts like an extra advert, parroting the slogan, pointing it out in shops. And today it's no better, it's just in a different form. Free-to-play video games aimed at children and paint the default costumes as such bad things that the word default becomes an insult in the playground. For more information on that, just check out basically anything Jim Sterling's put out in the last year. It borders on evil, and Chucky is mass-produced evil. He's literally a toy, fresh off the manufacturing line. And not just a toy, in both the original and in the reboot, he is the most sought-after toy of the year. Chucky is the evils of capitalism, packaged and sold to you, with the promise of always being your friend, of always being there for you. The only difference is Chucky kills you quicker. Thank you everybody for watching this admittedly very different video. Sorry for the lack of visuals, but it's very hot and I'm very sweaty and you don't want to see that. If you liked this video, this channel's going in a slightly different direction to before, so there's going to be more stuff like this, more varying topics and varying seriousness. So if you like that, please like and comment down in the description below. And while you're there, please check out the links to both my Twitch and my Patreon. I really want to get that Patreon off the ground because it allows me to upgrade my equipment and make better videos, make better Twitch streams for you all. And check out my Twitch, we have a lot of fun over there. It's a lot less serious than this video was, at least. We play some fun games, we all have a nice good time. I'll catch you in the next video, and I'll catch you on that flippity flop. Love you, bye.